arrest made in that fatal I-95 crash last night. 3 young men captured in Weston for a home burglary and more. John Kovac joins me later to take a look at the front pages of our HAN Network community newspapers this week. Frank Granito will have a look at the forecast and a Nutmeg Sports update. And later in the show, Donald Lang will join us to take a look back on this day in history. But first, a Woodbury resident is dead after an accident on I-95 in Westport Wednesday night that left the highway closed for nearly 12 hours. A Stamford man has also been charged with driving drunk in that accident. The crash involved a truck reportedly carrying sewage and a passenger car occurring between exits 18 and 17 around 7 at night. Killed in the crash was the truck driver, 64-year-old Thomas Patrick Reynolds of Woodbury. State police said the driver of the other vehicle involved in the crash, 35-year-old Ramses Taylor, rival of Stamford, was arrested for driving under the influence. State police said Reynolds was driving his truck southbound just north of exit 17 in the right lane, approaching the Saugatuck River Bridge. Rival was driving his Mercedes E350 in the center lane. The impact reportedly caused the truck to veer to the right, strike the metal beam guardrail off the right shoulder, and flip onto its driver's side. The truck then hit a light pole, then a tree, and finally caught fire. And in other news, an evening walk to get orange juice turned tragic Tuesday when an elderly Fairfield woman was struck by a car and killed. The Connecticut Post reports that 86-year-old Patricia Barger died at St. Vincent's Medical Center from a variety of injuries suffered in that incident. Barger was crossing Black Rock Turnpike near Katona Drive at around 7:45 in the evening Tuesday when she was struck by a northbound vehicle driven by Sharon Ranney. Ranney remained at the scene and the incident remains under investigation. No charges have been filed in that accident. And in other news, 2 Bridgeport men and a juvenile with criminal backgrounds faced charges in connection with an attempted burglary yesterday in Weston. The 3 arrested were 18-year-old Francis Tariq of Platt Street in Bridgeport, 20-year-old LaQuan Jackson of Manhattan Avenue in Bridgeport, and a 16-year-old juvenile whose name is not being released because of their age. The suspects fled into the woods towards Newtown Turnpike after the homeowner confronted the men in his house. According to Weston Police Sergeant Patrick Daubert, the homeowner called 911 at about 1 in the afternoon after he saw the suspect's car in his driveway. Weston Police Chief John Troxell said that the homeowner surprised them. They scattered and ran rather than take their car. Troxell credited a quick response and a team effort from multiple police departments as reasons for the hasty capture of the suspects. Police from Weston, Wilton, Easton, Reading, Westport, and Fairfield responded to the scene, and the Connecticut Police Major Crime Unit was en route to the scene to assist in processing. There's more on that story at thewestonforum.com. And on Wednesday, the State Department of Public Health announced the first case of Zika virus in Connecticut acquired in the continental United States. The patient had recently traveled to Florida. The department is reminding residents, particularly pregnant women and women planning to become pregnant, to avoid travel to regions that have been affected by the Zika virus. Travelers to those areas should protect themselves by taking steps to prevent mosquito bites. When traveling to areas where Zika virus or other viruses spread by mosquitoes, use insect repellent, wear long sleeves and pants, and stay in places with air conditioning or that use window and door screens. In Connecticut, surveillance for Zika began back on February 15th. To date, 85 patients have tested positive for the Zika virus in Connecticut, 5 of which were pregnant. According to the U.S. Center for Disease Control Prevention, 3,358 cases of Zika have been reported in the United States. And Norwalk police are looking for suspects that allegedly robbed a pawn shop at gunpoint earlier this month, and they're sharing some surveillance photos. This happened back on September 9th at about 11 in the morning. They say a tall, muscular black male with long dreadlocks and a ball cap and a thin Hispanic man wearing a bandana robbed Gold Rush Pawn Shop at 495 Connecticut Avenue. Police say the Hispanic male displayed and pointed a long-barrel black revolver at the victim. Numerous items were taken, and both suspects fled the area in a newer model white sedan. You can send tips to the Norwalk Police at 203-854-3111. Anonymous internet tips can also be sent at norwalkpd.com. And Hearst, Connecticut media reports that a Stanford lawyer has filed a class action lawsuit against Griffin Hospital in Derby on behalf of more than 3,100 former patients who may face HIV or other blood-borne diseases as a result of hospital employees using the same insulin injection pens on patient after patient. More than 3,100 people are now going through emotional distress, according to this attorney, after being notified that not only could they have a potentially deadly disease, but could be passing it to a spouse. This lawsuit was filed in State Superior Court in Waterbury. Griffin Hospital has opted not to comment on the litigation. While a figure was not available, legal experts say that lawsuits like this can end up costing millions of dollars. But let's switch gears now and throw it over to Frank Granito for a look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you very much, Kate. It's a little sunny out right now, but expect it to be partly cloudy and very breezy today, with temperatures in the mid to high 60s. Starting in the evening, there will be on and off periods of rain and drizzle until early Friday morning, with an expected low of 57 degrees overnight. Conditions are looking very bleak for football on Friday. Very windy with gusts of wind up around 25 miles per hour and rainfall expected all day long. On and off showers are expected around game time tomorrow night, with wind gusts dropping down and the temperatures in the mid to high 50s. Again, rain will fall through most of those late night games. Saturday, expect more rain as it will be overcast for most of the day with scattered showers throughout the afternoon. A steady breeze during the day and an expected high of 63 degrees. A little humid overnight Saturday, and we could see the possibility for passing thunderstorms heading into Sunday morning, as it looks like we will continue to see rain here going into the weekend, Kate.
All right, thanks, Frank. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Eng joins us to take a look back on this day in history. Frank will have your Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have some more local news coming up after this. Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan. And you've heard me talk about the Chevy Volt for years. The new model gets 53 miles on EV charge daily, plus 420-mile full range. But don't take my word for it. You need to come in and test drive the Volt yourself. Visit us at 261 Elm Street in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
As you're getting back to your regular schedules, we're excited to get back to doing what we do best, offering you the freshest seasonal fare and all the ingredients for a healthy start to school. So shop Walter Stewart's for everything fresh, from A, apples to Z, zucchini, and from cotton candy grapes to back to nature all-natural snack bags. We save you time by stocking all of your favorite back-to-school essentials under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
At Greenwood Physical Therapy of Bethel, individualized care, knowledgeable staff, and state-of-the-art equipment provide the best of orthopedic and sports medicine services. Our experienced therapists at Greenwood provide the highest level of knowledge and care. Greenwood accepts most kinds of insurance, and staff are there to answer your questions. Open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., the clinic serves the greater Danbury area and is a convenient drive from Reading. Appointments are available within 24 hours. Just call 203-917-4792 or visit greenwoodphysicaltherapy.com for more information.
Washington Prime, now open on Main Street in Georgetown. Come enjoy our relaxed setting, excellent service, award-winning nightly happy hours, and feast on our creative new American cuisine. Connecticut Magazine's winner for Best Steak, Washington Prime of Georgetown.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network, and we've also reached 1.7 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
We're back on this September 29th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski. Our guesses are in for Donald Ng's Look Back on This Day in History. We're going to see if we were right. Don, what do you have for us today?
Lockdown, you can't change them now. Well, first, let's see. Did anyone have 1907? I think someone did. The cornerstone laid at the Washington National Cathedral in the U.S. Capitol. The building has staged 21 presidential funerals and is the final resting place for Helen Keller and Woodrow Wilson, among other people. The cathedral was completed in 1990, though decorative work is ongoing. It's actually being built and restored at the same time. The cathedral is known for its unusual decorations, including a space-themed stained glass window and Darth Vader, perhaps the most unusual fixture, the addition of Darth atop the West Tower. Now we go to 1982. 12-year-old Mary Kellerman dies after taking a capsule of extra-strength Tylenol. That same day, Adam Janis suddenly falls ill and goes to the hospital, where he dies. Adam's family gathers at his house that night, and his brother and sister develop stress headaches. Both take Tylenol from the still-open bottle on Adam's counter, and they both die. A total of 7 people would eventually die of the Chicago area Tylenol poisonings. The bottles were found to have been contaminated with cyanide. No suspect was ever arrested. There's no known motive. Johnson & Johnson eventually recalled some 31 million bottles of extra-strength Tylenol. The killings led to a much more stringent anti-tampering packaging on medication. To 1984, 52-year-old Elizabeth Taylor named the world's most beautiful woman. At the time, she was actually in the Betty Ford Clinic and divorced from her 7th husband, dating Richard Burton there, who was also her 5th and 6th husband. The price of fame pretty high. Finally, now we go to 1954 for this.
Left-hander Vic Wirtz up and left-hander Don Little ready to go. Here's the pitch to Wirtz. Here's a long drive to deep, deep center field. Mays back to the wall. Makes an incredible catch. Turns and fires it in. What a catch by Willie Mays.
But that was 2 men on, and in the pull ground in those days, even if a guy catches the ball 580 feet away, he could score from second very easily.
What made that play was his great throw. The runner's tagging in second. But with that distance, if he misses him on the cutoff, he'll score. But he was right on.
I couldn't see where I was throwing, but they tell me the ball was on the mark. And second.
Wow, I've been hearing it from some unhappy guessers here. That's 1954. Willie Mays of the New York Giants makes an over-the-shoulder catch of a fly ball hit by Cleveland Indian first baseman Vic Wirtz, robbing Wirtz of an extra base hit in Game 1 of the 1954 World Series. He then fires a strike back to the infield to keep the runners from scoring. One of the greatest catches and one of the greatest outfield throws in Major League Baseball history on the same play. No wonder Mays is considered the prototypical 5-tool player. The Giants went on to sweep the World Series. That's your look back in history for today, September 29th, and I am Donald Ng.
All right, I didn't get a single one.
Well, you did get one, but I decided not to include it. We were talking about it off the air, but that's all right.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Don. In other news today, the General Assembly is on board with the deal agreed to by Lockheed Martin and Governor Daniel Malloy that will keep Sikorsky aircraft in Stratford for at least 16 more years. Both the State Senate and House of Representatives passed measures during Wednesday's special session approving the deal reached last week between Sikorsky's parent company and Malloy. The Senate approved the deal 35-1, while the House voted 136-6. 8 House members did not vote. Under the plan, Sikorsky's Main Street headquarters would be used to produce nearly 200 CH-53K King Stallion heavy lift helicopters through at least June 2032. As part of the plan, Sikorsky would have the chance to earn up to $220 million over the 16-year seal if it meets targets for employment, increased in-state supply chain spending, and capital expenditures. More on that story at StratfordStar.com, but let's throw it back over to Frank Granito for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. Yesterday, the HAN Network was live at Fairfield Ludlow High School for some girls volleyball in the FCIAC. The Trumbull Eagles came out on top 3-1 over the Ludlow Falcons. Fairfield Ludlow still winless on the season, but what a match it was. Let's take a look at some of the highlights.
Set point here, and it's Nielsen on serve. And that one, ricochets off the side.
Receiving error in the first set will go to Trumbull, 25-15, 27-26, whatever that was about. Dig.
Able to pick it up, and it's game Ludlow. We're tied up at 1.
For Ludlow throughout.
That one tailing out, and it's going to sail. Right on cue, they'll say you jinxed her at home, but Capella's unable to keep that one in play. So it's now 2-1 in favor of Trumbull after another exciting game. Borski's first serve. Schramm, it's off to the right. Are they going to be able to get there? No, and that's going to do it.
Trumbull, go ahead.
25-17 will be the final. 3-1 the final in the match. But what a great match it was.
It was
Bill.
a great match. I mean, I would have thrown a nickel on the court to saying this was going 5.
A lot of fun from start to finish. They split the first 2 sets before Trumbull went on to win sets 3 and 4 to take the match. Trumbull now 6-2 in the conference. Again, the defending FCIAC and state champions Fairfield Ludlow Falcons 0-6 in FCIAC play, 0-7 on the season. We have some more FCIAC highlights here. New Canaan picked up their first win in conference play with a 3-1 win over Trinity Catholic. Our Dave Stewart was on the scene. He found the final 3 points of that one to send to us. With the win, New Canaan finds themselves at 1-5 in conference play and 2-6 on the season. Trinity with the loss has a similar record now. Great game again, and congrats to the Rams on that first conference win. Don't forget that the voting for Athlete of the Week presented by Runner's Roost will still be open until tomorrow at 11:59 a.m. You have 24 hours to share your opinion on which one of our 8 nominees should be elected as the Athlete of the Week. We will announce the results of that Athlete of the Week tomorrow on FCIAC Tailgate at 5:15. FCIAC Tailgate as well as Coffee Break tomorrow morning will be live from Fairfield Ludlow High School. We had our fan vote to decide which game we'll be covering this week. We've got the Wilton Warriors against the Ludlow Falcons tomorrow night. Pregame at 6:50, but of course we've got Tailgate at 5:15. A lot of great guests and exciting stories for this week. Should be a lot of fun. Yeah. Unfortunately, we might be in the rig with the rain.
We're going to be trying to stay dry, but it's going to be a lot of fun either way. All right, thank you so much, Frank. In other news, Monroe police arrested 48-year-old Mark Federico of Seymour on September 27th in connection with a larceny complaint at Anna Dick, Inc. The police said that the company had reported that over $1,000 worth of equipment had gone missing and that they believed it had been taken by an employee back in August. During that investigation, the police discovered that the missing items had turned up in a local pawn shop and that Federico had allegedly pawned other stolen items. Police said that Federico allegedly stole nearly $4,000 worth of equipment from the company. After a warrant was issued for his arrest, he turned himself in to Monroe Police. And finally, the Department of Consumer Protection will begin accepting applications for medical marijuana research proposals on October 1st. The legislature's decision to allow for in-state research will strengthen Connecticut's medical marijuana program, they say, and open opportunities for high-tech employment in the state. In addition, rigorous scientific studies will strengthen the medical community's ability to assess the safety and efficacy of medical marijuana for treating qualifying conditions. The program currently employs 259 people in the state, and with the introduction of highly skilled, well-paid research positions, the number of those employed in the field could increase significantly, according to the state. Eligible applicants for research proposals include hospitals or healthcare facilities, institutions of higher education, licensed medical marijuana producers, and licensed medical marijuana dispensaries. But we're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, it is Front Page Thursday, so our editorial director joins me, and we're going to take a look at those newspapers this week, coming up after this.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the Jeep Celebration event and Ram Power Days. Now through September 30th.
1, 2, 3, Abby! You know! I want to find out how good I am. Yes, sir! If you relax, you get blown out. Let's get it done! Let's get it done!
What can you take advantage of right now?
Again, come on! I can push myself way beyond what you think.
Pressure technique. Bring it back.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, InSports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. Players have access to soccer, lacrosse, football, baseball and softball, field hockey, rugby, basketball, volleyball, and social game facilities. InSports has also launched an early childhood development program, a daycare and pre-K program all rolled into one. Don't miss out on the fun. Find out more at insportscenters.com or call 203-268-1214. Like and follow us on Facebook.
At Mex on Main, Trumbull's very own Mexican grill, we're all about fresh, fast, and friendly service. Our Main Street restaurant offers the best in traditional and non-traditional Mexican dishes, with only the best ingredients, never frozen. From authentic burritos, fajitas, quesadillas, and salads, we have something on the menu for everyone in the family. And enjoy our open salsa bar, giving you more ways to customize your meal. Stop in for lunch or dinner at 6528 Main Street, Trumbull, or find out more at mexonmain.com.
At Elements Massage Ridgefield, we believe in quality services that are affordable and focused on therapy and healing. The licensed massage therapists are available 7 days a week, offering deep tissue and Swedish massage, as well as prenatal and couples massage. Special introductory rates are available now, or try our Elements trademarked wellness program. For more information, contact Elements Massage Ridgefield at 203-403-3348 or visit elementsmassage.com/Ridgefield.
When it comes to local entertainment, we've got it all.
From movies, local artists, etiquette, and more.
Watch HAN Arts and Leisure with me, Steve Coulter, and our Arts and Leisure editor, Sally Sanders, Mondays at 12:30, right here on the HAN Network.
We are back on this Thursday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with my friend John Kovach, our editorial director, to preview the front pages this week. John?
An adorable picture that my mother is going to fall in love with should she see it on the front of the Darien Times. It's Blessing of the Animals season, and there's a gorgeous little Cavalier King Charles being blessed at the First Congregational Church in Darien. Some more serious news, discussions about changes to the downtown zoning regulations. That has to do with a major development plan in Darien. The RTM approving a request for body cameras for police. That's making news nationally. And this is a story that's really gone on for the 20-some years that I've covered Darien. They need more candidates to run for the RTM. They have a 100-member RTM and just cannot
And
get
not
enough
surprisingly,
candidates.
that's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people, and it ends up with vacancies almost constantly.
Right. Well, I'm taking a look at the front page of the Trumbull Times. Vicky Tesoro, who previously ran against Tim Herbst for first selectman, narrowly losing that race, has been named to fill a vacancy on the finance board. I know there were some questions like, will Tim Herbst appoint her? And he did end up appointing Vicky Tesoro to that position. Another big story we talked about yesterday was this Trumbull police commissioner under investigation over harassment charges, allegedly harassing a man who accidentally bumped into him on his bicycle and was claiming that he caused over $2,000 worth of damage to the commissioner's car. Interesting story there. I know that investigation's still open, so I'm sure there's going to be more coming out about that. In happier news, Trumbull's Golden Eagle Marching Band hosting its Fall Classic on Saturday. They're a great band. And questions about the probate court moving to Monroe.
In Shelton, we now have at least some timetable on the Shelter Ridge development, as Planning and Zoning has 65 days to make that decision. And a story that's been updated since this went to press, and that is the deal to keep Sikorsky in Connecticut, which was approved by both the State House and Senate yesterday. Some good news, the 5K for Life in Shelton raising $1,000 to get bikes for kids in need, and Shelton looking at a project-based learning model, and a lot of that has to do with the success of their robotics team, who are doing a great job.
They do. They have an incredible robotics team. All right, well, taking a look at the front page of the Wilton Bulletin, just an interesting meeting item, but public comment at selectmen meetings in Wilton will now be at the start of the meeting as opposed to at the end. That makes more sense. People can comment on things that the board is going to vote on. Also, Ware Farm Photos, an exhibition, is going up to the Hartford Capitol. Those are going to be on display beginning Monday, October 3rd. Former First Selectman remembered for his warmth and integrity, and Nancy Dolnier of Village Market is the Business Person of the Year.
In Stratford, in addition to the news about Sikorsky, which is just as big there as it is in Shelton, news that a former teacher who's already facing one set of charges has a new set filed against him. This is a former teacher who allegedly wrestled with at least one student and then tried to get the student to keep quiet about it. That story unfolding. And the Soto Memorial Fund donating books and money to Stratford schools to foster literacy, that in honor of the late Vicky Soto, Stratford High graduate, one of the victims of the school shooting in Newtown.
All right, well, taking a look at the front page of the Weston Forum, another adorable dog picture. There is a blessing of the animals coming up on Saturday, and there is just an adorable golden retriever getting a little blessing there. So very sweet. And notice of removal posted on a Norfield tree, causing some discussion there in town. And a neat story, a Weston High grad starring on an Animal Planet show, Life at Vet U. Very cool.
Very cool. Some of those animals, too. It's a great photo. It's about him, follows him learning how to be a veterinarian. Then when they stick to the animal stories like that, it's really some compelling television. In Monroe, Music Fest is this weekend. That is Saturday. Multiple stages at the Congregational Church, open to all. Big event there. The town council raising questions to the First Selectman about this proposal. It's also in the Trumbull Times about moving the regional Trumbull-Monroe probate court to the former Chalk Hill School, and some questions there about circumventing legislative process. Also Saturday in Monroe, the Harvest Festival at the United Methodist Church. And
those fritters look
good. Those
good.
Apple fritters look really good. And Nancy Grace speaking at the Center for Family Justice luncheon the other day.
All right, well, take a look at the front page of the Reading Pilot. Reading celebrating over 100 scouts who earned the highest rank, which is Eagle Scout milestone. So they're going to be celebrating that. Bringing back Poverty Hollow back to its original condition. The Planning Commission discussing that there. And a night of improv comedy coming up. So very cool.
Wells are going dry in Ridgefield. Hopefully that gets remedied a bit with the rain coming this weekend to break this drought that we're under. Residents are rallying behind the German program at Ridgefield High School, with some talk about discontinuing that. The deer hunt begins October 7th, and other school news looking at what to do amid an enrollment decline.
All right, taking a look at the front page of the Milford Mirror. El Dario's restaurant, which has been in business for 40 years, closing down earlier this week. It's going to become a Knights of Columbus building.
Great place to have an event. Really was.
And officials debating selling land to a resident, a piece of town-owned property, and a GOP 14th district candidate doing a solo debate. So
I guess she was in agreement on everything.
All right, I guess so. Just guess it didn't get too heated. All right, what else, John?
In Easton, children can explore computer science this fall. Enrollment dropping there as well, some discussion of that. And the 50th anniversary of the Aspetuck Land Trust, among those in the photo, James Prosek, author, artist, fly fisherman, and topic of discussion on Yankee Fisherman later today at 1 o'clock.
All right, taking a look at the front page of the New Canaan Advertiser. Council questioning officials on flawed Outback data. That was that town-owned building that one engineer said was ready to collapse, and then they found out that was not the case, and they almost tore it down. So that story ongoing. Then a group of New Canaan High students gathering for a day of student prayer outside the flagpole, organizing that. And Merritt Village developers reducing building heights and units in their plan. I know that's a story the New Canaan Advertiser's been covering at length.
Yes, they have. Arts and leisure, you have your recipe, a tasty reason to get out of bed from the twins Judy and Joy, and a look at a sense of place and the writer's voice. And I'm looking forward to kind of reading that and getting a feel for that. A beautiful picture of a European scene there.
All right. And so, John, I know we have Yankee Fisherman coming up at 1 o'clock.
We do. I'll, as I said, be talking to the American Museum of Fly Fishermen, the American Museum of Fly Fishing, which is going to honor James Prosek of Easton with its Isaac Walton Award later on this fall. They have a couple of other interesting exhibits about the art behind fly fishing, both in old magazine covers back when they were paintings and wine labels.
Oh, very cool. Interesting. All right, so that's at 1 o'clock. Nutmeg Sports coming up at 2. We're going to wrap things up here in your coffee break. We're going to be at Fairfield Ludlow High School all day tomorrow, so be sure to catch Coffee Break live at 11. And then, of course, FCAC Tailgate and our live football coverage. We will see you tomorrow at 11.